Census indigenous solar cells production plant set to boost Nigeria's alternative energy drive.
Its output at full operational capacity will further impact the solar energy value chain in Nigeria.
Court of Appeal affirms Adeleke as governor of Osun State.
Court has affirmed that Senator Ademola Adeleke remains the governor of Osun State.
Plus, digital economy. NTA empowers 200 women with special skills to expand businesses.
This will help you start your own business and be part of gig economy.
Hello and welcome to the Network News on NTA. I am Elizabeth Omori. Adiola Komiakere joins us from Lagos. Do endeavor to follow this newscast live on our website, nta.ng/live, NTA News Now on Twitter, as well as other social handles displayed on the screen. The federal government is exploring alternative energy sources to fully launch the country into a strategic hub that is crucial for driving the nation's transition to industrial revolution. Ali Tijani Mohammed reports that this came to the fore at the foundation stone laying of Gora Solar Cells production plant in Kefi, Nasarawa State.
Gora, a growing settlement around the Kefi-Abuja corridor, is gradually defiling pressure to become a base for power sufficiency. And this is being made possible by the construction of a solar power cell plant aimed at boosting energy and stimulating industrial growth. Vice President Yemi Oshibanjo is optimistic that the project will serve as a vista for the promotion of entrepreneurship through steady power supply.
This factory could not have come at a more crucial time. Not only is the beneficiation model that it has adopted innovative and consistent, its output at full operational capacity will further impact the solar energy value chain in Nigeria through the low production costs of solar panels.
Nasarawa State Governor Abdullahi Sule and the Executive Vice Chairman and other stakeholders say the innovation will create a credible platform for diversifying the economy and generating self-employment.
Once you take ownership of the projects, you will see the benefits you will get, economic benefits that you will get, all the training that we are talking about that you will get, all the knowledge and the experience that are going to come along with it.
Naseni, under my stewardship and chairmanship of President Muhammadu Buhari, is quite uncomfortable with status of energy supply in Nigeria and have embarked on the use of science, technology and innovation and engineering to advance local content interventions in power sector reforms.
It's expected that while this is done to build power resilience in the country, commitment will be strengthened towards ensuring enabling environment. In Kefi, Aliu Tijani, NTA News.
A bit on the courts and electoral matters. The Court of Appeal sitting in Abuja has affirmed the election of Ademola Adeleke of the PDP as the duly elected governor of Osun State. The three-man panel of justices of the court, headed by Justice Mohammed Lawal Shuaibu, gave the order in an appeal filed by Ademola Adeleke, challenging the nullification of his return as the governor of Osun State. Dele Atumbi of our Judiciary desk now reports.
Of the governorship election in Osun State in July 16, 2022, INEC declared Ademola Adeleke as the winner of the election. The former governor of the state, Gboyega Oyetola, the candidate of the APC, and the party approached the Osun State Election Petition Tribunal, where their petition was determined in their favor against the respondents. Not satisfied with the verdict of the tribunal, Ademola Adeleke and the PDP on February 8, 2023 filed an appeal against the decision of the tribunal. In determining the appeal, the three-man panel of justices led by Justice Mohammed Lawal Shuaibu found that the tribunal was strong to have nullified the election of Ademola Adeleke on overvoting that was not proved. The court allowed the appeal of Ademola Adeleke as the duly elected governor of Osun State.
So the totality of the appeal presented before the Court of Appeal herein have succeeded, and the court has affirmed that Senator Ademola Adeleke remains the governor of Osun State. Today, the legal profession is richer by this judgment are delivered, because it's going to be a beacon guide that will illuminate the path in the election petition tribunals that are now ongoing.
In another development, the Court of Appeal in Abuja dismissed the cross-appeal of former governor of Osun State, Gboyega Oyetola. The cross-appeal challenged the qualification and eligibility of the governor of Osun State, Ademola Adeleke, to contest as governor. The court maintained that allegation of forgery was a criminal matter that must be proved beyond reasonable doubt.
There are so many issues involved in this appeal. Some of the issues were won. Some of a bit more of the issues we lost. Overall, we lost the appeal. But it's so interesting. We believe that as soon as we collect the various judgments, which are all more or less the same, by Monday, we would study the judgment and then make our decision.
In Abuja, Dele Atumbi, NTA News.
Meanwhile, Osun State Governor Senator Ademola Adeleke says the appeal court is a true reflection of the mandate given to him by the people of the state. Adeleke stated this in Ede, Osun State, shortly after the appeal court affirmed him the governor of Osun State. Femi Afariogun reports.
Joyful celebration at Governor Adeleke's residence at Ede, Osun State when the news of his victory at the appeal court filtered in. The governor, who described his victory as a well-deserved one, stated that the judgment reflects the expectations of the people of the state.
The voice of the people is the voice of God. The people of Osun, they've spoken. Of course, the judiciary, they are spoken to. There is no victor, no vanquished. So we should all come together and work together and make us great again, so that we can get Osun out to the promised land.
Family and some party members commended the judiciary for upholding the mandate of the people of the state.
Voted for him. They have always stood by him. And I want to tell the Osun people that they should continue to stand by him. The victory is for the PDP and Senator Ademola Adeleke. So we don't have much to say than to thank Almighty God, because it's God that gives us this victory, not our might.
Meanwhile, the All Progressives Congress candidate for the Osun governorship election, Gboyega Oyetola, in a release by his chief press secretary Ismail Omikpido, appealed to his supporters to remain calm as he has a potential ground to approach the Supreme Court. Osogbo, the state capital, remains calm after the judgment as security agents were located in strategic places within the metropolis. In Osogbo, Femi Afariogun, NTA News.
And the Court of Appeal sitting in Abuja has granted 3 petitioners the leave to serve their petitions on the President-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu through substituted means. The 3 petitioners are Atiku Abubakar, Peter Obi and Allied People's Movement. The petitioners, who came through motion exparte, prayed the court to grant their applications. With this leave of court, the petitioners will now serve their petitions on the President-elect through the APC National Secretariat in Abuja.
The essence of this is to activate the court's jurisdiction and get him to be heard so that we can kickstart our petition. It's just to serve him by way of substitute means through the political party APC and its office. We have filed petition against the return of Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Kashim Shettima by INEC. And we have to serve them by substitute means because it is practically impossible to serve them personally as required by law.
In another development, the President-elect Bola Tinubu has described a report making the rounds about the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Olukayode Ariwola, purportedly disguising to meet President-elect Bola Tinubu in London as fake, misleading and malicious. In a statement, the Director, Media and Publicity, APC Presidential Campaign Council, Bayo Onanuga, says the story is a pure concoction from people bent on creating doubts in public distrust about the legitimacy of the recent presidential election won by Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The statement adds that there has been no clandestine meeting between the president-elect and the respected Chief Justice of the country anywhere, as against the report which claims that the Chief Justice left Nigeria for London on the 11th of March on a wheelchair to board a plane ahead of the meeting with the president-elect. The spokesperson confirms that the president-elect, who left Nigeria Tuesday, has not been in London as is still in France. In other news, concerned groups have continued to protest the outcome of Saturday 18th governorship election in Nasarawa State and Kaduna as well, alleging irregularities in the processes in both states. Details of this report will come subsequently. The Inter-Party Advisory Council, IPAC, is advocating the immediate prosecution of all electoral offenders and their sponsors. This formed part of the Council's General Assembly meeting, which reviewed the conduct of the 2023 general elections. Timothy Yusuf reports.
This is the first meeting of the leadership of the 18 registered political parties under the banner of the Inter-Party Advisory Council, IPAC. Far-reaching decisions were reached following their review of the 2023 elections. Council urged INEC to review the procedure for appointing resident electoral commissioners (RECs) to ensure only competent and patriotic Nigerians head the Commission's state offices across the nation.
As some of the challenges encountered during the elections, particularly the use of beavers and RF portals, were caused more by human factors than the equipment.
While reiterating its position on resisting any attempt to subvert the people's mandate, IPAC urged stakeholders in the electoral process to respect the wish of the people as sovereignty resides in them.
IPAC urges the Judiciary to be decisive and uphold the rule of law in adjudicating on various election petitions before it as the last hope of all aggrieved citizens.
The Council charged INEC to sit up and take its constitutional duty seriously to avoid the preventable glitches and hitches with its bimodal voter accreditation system, BVAS. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the reappointment of Bello Megari as the Executive Secretary and CEO of the National Lottery Trust Fund. The President has equally renewed the appointment of Dr. Gambo Aliu as Director General, National Agency for the Control of AIDS, NACA, both for a final term of 4 years, effective from 26th February 2023. A statement from the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation says President Buhari congratulates both appointees and urges them to bring their wealth of experience to bear. And the presidency describes as outrageous and fake the news circulating attributing a false quote to President Muhammadu Buhari that he won't hand over to the president-elect after vigorous campaigns. A statement signed by the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, described the situation of the Sahara reporters as pretty pathetic, adding that government is already in transition phase and transition committee made up of representatives of the outgoing administration and the incoming one meeting almost on a daily basis, planning the handover to the Tinubu-Shettima administration. The statement indicates that Daura community has begun their preparations to receive their son after a successful administration for 2 terms. The statement notes that the president, on the other hand, is eager to return home to enjoy his retirement. And you're watching the Network News on NTA. Time now to take a break. The news continues shortly. You're still watching the Network News on NTA. Concerned groups have continued to protest the outcome of Saturday 18th governorship election in Nasarawa and Kaduna states. Kenneth Nanim now brings us details of that report as earlier teased.
With the candidate Sule Aldo Alhaji is hereby returned and declared the winner of the governorship election.
The incumbent governor of Nasarawa State, Abdullahi Sule, was announced winner of the Saturday 18th governorship election but the People's Democratic Party, PDP, is opposing INEC's decision on the outcome.
PDP candidate Ombugadu was winning up to the 29 point something minutes of the exercise. Then suddenly the results changed. In fact,
a group known as Coalition of the Aggrieved for Ombugadu is urging INEC to utilize the 7 days window provided by the Electoral Act to review the election results.
We are asking for the needful to be done.
But we are not satisfied with the pronouncement made by Professor Ishaya Tanko.
Meanwhile, a pro-democracy group, Coalition for the Restoration of Kaduna Mandate, has approached INEC over alleged irregularities in Kaduna State.
We call on the Commission to immediately commence the review of the results of the governorship elections in Kaduna State to ascertain the true winner of the election.
It is your right, to make known your grievances. You're doing that peacefully. So we will submit your written paper back to the Commission for necessary action.
INEC, however, advised aggrieved parties to go to court and assured them that every document needed to pursue their cases in the court of law will be made available to them. Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
Now let's shift attention to security. The Nigerian Army is developing the capacity of its personnel for effective communication and intelligence gathering in the grassroots. The focus of a language proficiency course organized by the Nigerian Army Resource Center in collaboration with the Nigerian Institute of Language aimed at enhancing conflict resolution mechanisms.
I believe that if you can speak my language, I can understand you. Misunderstanding is reduced to a great extent. Let's say somebody wants to be mischievous. Even with that, you'll be very careful in doing that. So it cuts across a lot of reasons, and that's why we believe that yes, it's contributing so much to the success that has been achieved.
This edition of the program is the 12th in the series introduced by the Center in 2018. The FCT Security Joint Task Force has commenced another phase of patrol and show force around the nation's capital boundary communities. Security correspondent Onotu Yakuba reports that the operation is targeted at strengthening security within the FCT ahead of events leading to the institution of the incoming democratic dispensation.
The Joint Task Force has one mission for the operation, and that is to ensure that every part of the Federal Capital Territory is watertight and unchallenged by any form of threat to security. First, the team advanced towards Kuje and straight to a shanty location where intelligence pointed to suspected links and drug supply chain to kidnappers terrorizing the area. After it was cordoned off, the discoveries proved the efficacy of the intelligence.
This is our mother.
I believe by mainstream people here today, the bad ones that are among us, they will be fearing of entering this community again.
Issue of kidnappers and other things coming up, then we the villagers will cope up to make sure we protect our people here.
The hopes of members of these communities are that such patrol operations will be sustained in the days ahead. Onotu Yakubu, NTA News.
Research has a significant role in keeping up with global technological advancements. The Chief Standard Evaluation Headquarters of the Nigerian Air Force, Air Vice Marshal Hassan Bello, disclosed this at the 2023 Intra-Command Research and Development Competition in Makurdi, Benue State. Ekemeri Kenning Ladoja was at the Nigerian Air Force Tactical Air Command, Makurdi.
This research and development competition and exhibition is the way the Nigerian Air Force has sought to address the current challenges of acquiring expensive foreign technology by encouraging indigenous technology to reduce costs. The Chief of Standard Evaluation Headquarters, Nigerian Air Force, Air Vice Marshal Bala Abubakar, represented by Director of Evaluation, Air Vice Marshal Tajuddin Yusuf, said the competition is in line with the vision of the Chief of Air Staff.
One of the key drivers in the vision of the Chief of the Air Staff is the sustenance of platform and equipment serviceability through innovative maintenance method and logistics support system.
The Armed Forces, particularly the Nigerian Air Force, has adopted proactive measures aimed at effectively applying air power in counterinsurgency operations.
The 11 units under the Tactical Air Command Makudi presented 11 projects, all aimed at enhancing operational effectiveness of the Nigerian Air Force. After an evaluation by independent assessors from Benue State University, 153 Base Service Group, who produced a synthetic block brick productions plant, came third. 109 Composite Reconnaissance Group with a Jet Air 1 purifying system came second, and 141 Communications Group emerged as winner with the design and construction of a short-range UAV passive air defense electronic jammer. Winners will represent the command at the 2023 National Research and Design Competition and Exhibition in Makudi. Ekemeren Kadeng-Ladoja, NTA News.
Now to education. Contemporary volatile situations and opportunities require reforms in African universities to promote progressive digital transformation, effective leadership and strong institutional cultures. This was the focus of a lecture on volatility and opportunities in higher education organized by the National Open University of Nigeria. Principal and first female Vice Chancellor of the South African Open University delivered the lecture.
Why should we as African scholars be doing base research so that it's taken by universities in the global north and is presented as own research? These are the political questions that as universities we must ask. Why shouldn't our research be at the center and be as comparable as the best from the East as it would be from the West?
Now to religious affairs. Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, on behalf of the Federal Executive Council, expresses best wishes to Muslim faithful as they commence the month-long Ramadan fast. The SJF in a statement urges Muslim faithful to observe the Ramadan in accordance with the teachings of Prophet Muhammad as enshrined in the Holy Quran, and emphasized the need for them to use the occasion of the fast to pray for peace, unity, prosperity and stability of the country. And President Muhammadu Buhari congratulates famous journalist and writer Louis Odion as he marks his 50th birthday, describing him as an indisputable journalist. President Muhammadu Buhari in his birthday message notes that a country as diverse as Nigeria can distract a journalist towards steering public discourse and popular opinion for upward of 2 decades without triggering the disapproval of the public. The president described his work as one that has fascinated the countrymen and women, using his exceptional journalistic talent to inform, educate and entertain the public. The president wishes him good health and many more years of service to the nation. And it's time now to head to Lagos for more reports where Adeola is standing by. Hello, Adeola.
Hello, Elizabeth. Steady and firm in its resolve to break away from age-long dependence on foreign powers for procurement of military equipment, the Nigerian Air Force says it is looking inward and will continue to leverage research and development to manufacture sustainable solutions. Chief of Standard and Evaluation, Nigerian Air Force, Air Vice Marshal Bala Abubakar, restated this resolve at the Intra-Command Research and Development Competition of the Mobility Command in Lagos. Adeniyi Taiwo reports.
In a competitive world where technology needed to shore up Nigeria's military capacity are often scarce, efforts to tilt the balance of power in the country's favor require an inward look. The Nigerian Air Force seems to have found the right formula in the annual Mobility Command Intra-Command Research and Development Competition, in which personnel from various units ideate, develop and deliver target-specific projects as solutions within the aerospace ecosystem. Chief of Standard and Evaluation, Nigerian Air Force, Air Vice Marshal Bala Abubakar, and a team of assessors had a tough call to make at the end of the competition, which had on display homegrown innovations, including personnel attendance tracking system, fuel transfer and monitoring system.
They are very useful products, very useful projects if we're able to develop and refine them to the level where we can even commercially produce them.
With safety, cost effectiveness and originality as part of its merits, this ethnic system, developed by 301 Heavy Airlift Group, got the nod of assessors.
For example, you want to refill, electric charges come up, will build up, and now for it not to cause harm, you ground the aircraft. Do you understand now? So safe operation goes on.
The winning innovation and others are expected to go through further development and certification before adoption by the Nigerian Air Force.
Stakeholders believe that efforts, particularly local efforts such as this, must continue to be encouraged by the Nigerian Air Force in order for it to match up with its peers in the sky. From the NAV Maintenance Depot in Ikeja, Lagos, Adini Itawu, NTA News.
Determined to keep safeguarding the health of Nigerians, the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, has embarked on a working visit to agro-producing companies in Lagos. The aim is to ensure they all follow due process and meet safety standards. Annie Daniels has the details.
Food is one of the basic human needs, yet it is beyond the reach of some. In achieving a hunger-free society, nations of the world, including Nigeria, are intensifying efforts in improving agriculture and giving the sector more attention.
It trickles down to the regulation of the raw materials that are used in feed production to be sure that we come onto these major importers and local producers to be sure of what they are doing, the stacking method, the distribution method, then the storage condition of these products that they use. Knowing fully well that food safety actually starts from the farm, and whatever you give to animal comes to man.
These working visits to local agro-allied product manufacturers by the National Agency for Food, Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, is to scale up its food production mandate.
Because it's teamwork, we all work together. So even if you're not a staff of the Enforcement Directorate and you come across where you suspect there's reasonable suspicion that corners are being cut, you escalate the matter and take it to the appropriate directorate for action.
For these local agro-product manufacturers, adequate collaboration and transparency between them and the government is all that is needed to grow the sector.
We need direct access to the Ministry of Agriculture. If we have issues, we should be able, without lobbying, without anything, we should be able to go straight to the Ministry of Agriculture. Sir, ma, this is what is happening. How can you help us?
Both the regulatory agency and local manufacturers are confident that with a healthy relationship, the agricultural sector will exceed expectations. In Lagos, Annie Daniels, NTA News.
You're still watching the news on the network service of the NTA. More reports after this break, but do not forget that you can follow this broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/live and on our other social media handles displayed on the screen for updates. To stay on.
Thanks for staying with us. Now, to bring us up to speed on business matters is Musa Abubakar. Musa, let's hear from you.
Thank you. Oil prices fell Friday amidst decline in European banking shares, and after U.S. Energy Secretary Jennifer Granholm said refilling the country's strategic petroleum reserve may take several years, dampening demand prospects. Brent crude fell $1.03 or 1.4% to $74.88 a barrel, while U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude futures fell 84 cents or 1.1% to $69.16 a barrel. And to capital markets, the equities market closed Friday's session in negative territory. The all-share index fell 0.06% to close at 54,892.53 points. A sum of 137.5 million securities valued at 3.8 billion naira were traded in 2,912. Equity capitalization decreased to 29.903 trillion naira. Fidelity Bank, Guarantee Trust Holding Company, and Name It were the most traded stocks in terms of volume. And that's a quick look at business. It's back to you, Elizabeth.
Thank you, Musa. The Central Bank of Nigeria has confirmed the evacuation of banknotes from its vaults to commercial banks across the country as part of a coordinated effort to ease the circulation of banknotes of various denominations. It has also directed all commercial banks to open for operation on Saturdays and Sundays. The Acting Director, Corporate Communications Department of the CBN, Dr. Isa Abdumumuni, in a statement notes that a substantial amount of money in various denominations have been received by commercial banks for onward circulation to their respective customers. The director explained that the CBN has directed all banks to load their automated teller machines as well as conduct physical operations in banking halls through the weekends. The statement says the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Governor Godwin Emefiele, would personally lead teams to monitor the level of compliance by the banks in various locations across the country. Now, women with digital marketing skills are making headway in the business world. This informed the decision by the National Information Technology Development Agency, NITDA, in partnership with the World Bank under the Gina Mata Gina Al-Umma training program to impart 200 women with knowledge to expand their businesses and create employment for others. Chimdima Undubisi brings us details.
Suweba is a baker and virtual assistant, realizing that digital literacy is key to pushing her business to global light. She joins other 199 entrepreneurs and housewives to acquire digital skills from the National Information Technology Development Agency, NITDA, in collaboration with the World Bank.
We were taught how to use mostly Canva for graphical, for logo design, for flyer design, content creation, digital marketing.
This will help you start your own business and be part of gig economy. It's an economy or ability you can use digital devices or system to be able to earn more.
We selected them across diverse parts of Nigeria. What we hope to do over a longer run is to train 800 girls into the digital economy ecosystem. This pilot launch will take us through 4 states in Nigeria.
By this, the agency is bridging the gender gap in digital technology, projected to put Nigeria on the path of adding $229 billion to our gross domestic product, GDP, in the next 2 years, according to the McKinsey report. In Abuja, Chimdima Undubisi, NTA News.
To air transportation now. The Minister of Aviation, Hadi Sirika, says despite challenges surrounding the establishment of the national carrier Nigeria Air, local and international flights will commence soon. This was at a National Aviation Stakeholders Forum in Abuja. Tokpe Alabi reports.
Aside the global experience, Nigeria's challenges of air travel include cost, availability of aviation fuel, safety concerns, inadequate aviation infrastructure and qualified manpower, as well as financial capacities of airlines to compete with foreign counterparts, among others. This Aviation Stakeholders Forum is to review how key regulators and players have been grappling with these operational issues towards developing optimal solutions, especially when only about 4 out of 32 airports are operating profitably. Minister of Aviation Hadi Sirika says negotiations are ongoing to establish Nigeria Air soon, upon the approval of the Federal Executive Council.
President Buhari has done exceptionally very well in aviation. We are very confident that we will begin to fly before we leave office because everything is set.
We have developed policy throws around the aviation roadmap in order to enhance safety and then also achieve efficiency.
There's no airport in Nigeria now without a major repair or reconstruction or expansion going on. Most of it concluded.
With plans to establish a national carrier and assemble aircrafts on a full-blown scale in Kaduna, expectations are that these will correctly position Nigerian aviation in its rightful place among the top echelons of the world aviation industry. In Abuja, Tokwe Alabi, NTA News.
Following the lone fatal crash that occurred in the early hours of Friday, the Corps Marshal, Federal Road Safety Corps, Dauda Ali Biu, has directed the immediate establishment of a unit command with necessary operational facilities in Gamawa, Bauchi State to tackle all incidences related to abuse of traffic rules as well as entrenched safety along that route. The crash occurred as a result of overloading, excessive speed and tire burst. Investigation reveals that a total of 35 people were involved, out of which 10 sustained injuries and 25 died in the process. The Corps Marshal commiserates with the families of the deceased and wishes the injured recovery while calling for caution, especially during this Ramadan. Now let's take another break. We'll be right back. Glad to know you're still there. Nigeria and the rest of the world are marking this year's World Meteorological Day. Musa Babali reports that issues relating to global warming and the environment was the focus of discourse.
The day is celebrated on the 23rd of March every year, taking into cognizance of the crucial role of the National Meteorological and Hydrological Services in the society. The feature of weather, climate and water across generations is this year's theme of the celebration. The theme emphasizes the need to address the challenges posed by climate change and to develop strategies to ensure sustainable water and weather-related practices for future generations.
According to the World Economic Forum, in the next 10-year time frame, failure to mitigate climate change, failure of climate change adaptation, and natural disasters are the highest risks for the global economy.
To this end, the Nigerian Meteorological Agency, NIMET, is emphasizing collaboration in the dissemination of weather-related information to the rural communities. The Director General, Nigerian Meteorological Agency, Professor Mansour Matazu, has assured citizens of the agency's commitment to monitor weather and climate change through meteorological predictions in order to ensure the safety of lives and property. Matazu was represented by the agency's Director of Research and Training, Professor Ifeom Oku.
Researchers, including the academia around the globe, continuously monitor the ocean, the land, and the atmosphere, modeling how they are changing to deliver services that will support weather and climate predictions for society of life over land, in the atmosphere and at sea.
As an organization with 187 member states and 6 member territories, the World Meteorological Organization, WMO, requires that all members operate with a common vision and goals. Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
The 2023 National Population Census Publicity Committee in Kogi State has been inaugurated. The Deputy Governor, Edward Onoja, charged members of the committee to give the census adequate publicity in the state. Solomon Aiden reports.
The 19-member Kogi State Census Publicity Committee was put together to foster people's involvement in the 2023 National Population and Housing Census through adequate publicity.
Kogi State Deputy Governor Edward Onoja is the chairman of the committee, while the Federal Commissioner, National Population Commission, Kogi State, Professor Jimo Habibat Isa, is co-chairman.
This wonderful initiative of ensuring that the right caliber, the right set of people are given the mandate to drive the publicity for the 2023 census It is something that is commendable.
We thank you for this privilege and honor Your Excellency has given us to serve.
Governor Yahaya Bello, in a message delivered by his deputy, Edward Onoja, described population and housing census as key to national planning and development.
We are nearly 2 decades without a census. So this comes very timely, very handy.
The current chairman, National Population Commission, is out to ensure that the appropriate figure on local government basis per states is given.
The 2023 population and housing census is scheduled to hold in May nationwide, 17 years after the last exercise held in Nigeria in 2006. In Lokoja, Solomon Ayedehi, NTA News.
Talking sports, Nigeria's Super Eagles sleep after succumbing to Guinea-Bissau in Nations Cup qualifier. Olumide Guntola brings us details of this and other sporting stories.
The Super Eagles of Nigeria Friday night lost 0-1 to their counterpart from Guinea-Bissau in our 2023 African Cup of Nations qualifier played in Abuja. First half goal by the visitors silenced the Jose Pasero to touch side that lost many scoring chances.
Lack organization, we don't want to get professional. Most of the professionals we are getting, we are not contracting them.
In another news, our 30-seater wheelchair accessible balls to ease the movement of Nigerian para sports have been presented to the athletes by the First Lady, Aisha Buhari, through her pet project, Future Assured. The sports minister, Sunday Dari, says the gesture will boost the athletes for more podium success.
Well, she's always had sports development in her mind. It's always been a passion to her.
Also, the sports minister says the sports as a business initiative implemented by the federal government has started yielding positive results. This was when the ministry handed over one of the training pitches of the Moshood Abiola National Stadium to a private company.
Its full implementation will see so many other organizations from the organized private sector coming to invest.
Talking golf now, Evelyn Oyome and Fola Kande emerged the gross and net winners on the same day. Former Director General of NTA, Sholo Male, and retired General Manager NTA Akure, Charity Eke, showed class in the game of golf.
We have a pro coming in from internationally. It's going to help us with our game, especially towards the championship.
I want to see her continue where the last PLC, we call her PLC now, Uncle Imoka, stopped.
It's good exercise for me, keeps me healthy, keeps me busy.
It was the 2023-2024 inaugural kitty to usher in new lady captain Adiola Banjoku, who was brilliant on the golf course. With sponsor update, Olumide Guntola, NTA News.
And you know what? The weather has been quite friendly here at the Federal Capital Territory, but let's find out what it will look like tomorrow, Saturday, here and in other cities.
Glad to have you join us. We expect a relatively stable Saturday as quiet morning is expected with few clouds over the north-central cities and the inland cities of the south, with cloudiness over the coastal cities, while the north should continue to be in sunny skies. By afternoon, there are chances of few thunderstorms over parts of Adamawa, Taraba, Gombe, southern Kaduna, FCT, Nasarawa, Benue, and Kwara. To the south, we expect isolated thunderstorms over parts of Abia, Imo, Ebonyi, Enugu, Oshun, and the stretch of the coastal cities. The air quality is expected to be unhealthy for sensitive group over Katsina, Kano, and Jigawa. And that's our bit from here. I'm Safia Sayinusa.
And that ends the network news tonight. Thank you so much for watching. Do remember to always take action against rape and rapists. Be kind and remain patriotic. I'm Elizabeth Omori. Thank you so much for your time.